Zach, I'll start with you. Any big trades that you have on the table for the Carolina Hurricanes to make this offseason?
Just one. I know I've written some articles for the Hockey Writers. I know people have probably seen it. To the Buffalo Sabres fans, I'm sorry. It was just that this is a starting point trade. You know, no one thought some guys are going to get moved. I've heard Tage Thompson's name mentioned in a few different spots. Nothing, there's not a lot of smoke with it, but it is what it is. So it's not that. So don't come for me. It's not about Tage, even though I would love to get him. But I do have one trade, Rich, and it is for Jason Robertson out of Dallas. And I know some people are going to be like, well, why would Dallas get rid of him? They can go trade other guys and stuff like that. Some contracts may be a little bit harder to move than Robertson. And, they want to keep Granlund, which some people think that's kind of crazy. Why would you keep Granlund and not Robertson? But Robertson's name has been brought up a lot recently, and there's a lot of smoke there. So for me, I do see the Carolina Hurricanes going for Jason Robertson. Bring him in as your first line left winger. He's going into the last year of his deal at $7.75 million, but I think it will definitely be worth it. Plus, we got his teammate Logan Stank over here, so you already know how that's going to work out there. Here's my trade, though, Rich. And I know a lot of people might not be okay with this one, but if you want to get good, you got to give up good as well. And there is a contract that we can hopefully kind of move that isn't taking up as much space, but gives Dallas a little bit of wiggle room. Jackson Blake, Scott Morrow, their 2026 first, 2028 first, and their 2016 third, plus KK going back for Jason Robertson. I know it's
my guys.
Some people say that might not be enough, but if you're talking giving up 3 of their draft picks back plus Blake, KK, and Morrow, it might work. But who knows if that there might be some other sweeteners and additions and other stuff moving around, but that's what I'd come up with that could possibly at least make some sense.
I've mentioned in my videos that maybe Scott Morrow is a trade asset, but deep down in my heart, I want Jackson Blake to stay. I want Scott Morrow to say I think they're going to be dogs for a long time. But with that,
well, yeah, I do.
But with that said, you have to give up assets. I'd be shocked. The most surprising thing of that is sending KK back because I don't know how much salary Dallas is going to want to eat in return. So compare Robertson's was at 7.5 compared to KK's.
Robertson is 7.75 to KK's 4.82. But here's the sweetener, Rich. You eat some of the contract for KK for a couple seasons. You're just gonna have to do it. Or there's a third team somewhere and be like, hey, KK, go to here and we'll be done with it. But unfortunately, Puckpedia doesn't really let you do 3-team trades. So it's kind of has to be straight up. But hey, KK could go somewhere as we'll lessen this to half this to half this, and maybe KK's contract is a third of whatever 4.8 is. So,
and then who knows? Maybe you get a Taylor Hall in return too for someone eating a little bit of the salary.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, if we're doing it straight up, this would it would be it would be a little bit close. Maybe you're giving him $3 million in relief, but who knows? I mean, you're already giving up 3 draft picks plus Blake and Morrow, which I don't want to get rid of them either, but just same thing with Mikko Ranson. You have to give up good to get good, unfortunately. But that's my only trade. Just go get Jason Robertson.
I mean, you talk about what you're getting back in Jason Robertson. 35 goal scorer this year. 46 goals 2 seasons ago. That's what you need. Again, Mike Maniscalco challenged Svetch on this podcast at the beginning of the season. Svetch, we need you to be a 40-goal scorer this season, and he was not. So that's the one piece. A few things the Canes are missing, but that's the one thing where you always think about the Canes just not being able to score. They get pucks on net all the time, but they're never able to get the puck to the back of the net. This is a guy that can do that. So for the Canes to make this deal, I'd miss Jackson Blake. I'd miss Scott Morrow a lot. But to get those assets, to have those picks from Dallas and be like, here, have them back, and to get essentially Stank and Robertson for Mikko, they ain't too bad. So it'll be interesting to see if Tulski goes that route, because I think of all the guys available on the trade block, which Elliot Freeman mentioned before on a previous episode of 32 Thoughts. Dallas has cooled off those conversations a little bit because Dallas wanted to see what they could get for him. I still think he gets moved this offseason, so kind of highest bidder wins with Robertson. So we'll see if that would be enough to entice the Stars to move on from Jason Robertson.
Here's the thing, too. Maybe if they don't throw KK in there and you throw in another young guy, it could be three, because you're going to get two guys who've already played in the league. You can get another high-end prospect, and you still send 3 picks back. You still could get a move done, and maybe KK's in another trade. I mean, who knows? Like I said, or you can send him for a part of a 3 team that still sends him to Dallas. It's just his contract half in half, but who knows?